Welcome to Real Chat, I'm Sophie.
And I'm Mark.
And today we will be reviewing
Wuthering Heights.
The new Wuthering Heights film, directed by Emerald Fennell, reimagines Emily Bronte's classic Gothic romance for a contemporary audience, starring Margot Robbie as Catherine Earnshaw and Jacob Elordi as Heathcliff. The film returns to the Yorkshire moors, where passion, jealousy and revenge shapes the fate of two deeply entwined souls.
The story follows the intense relationship between Cathy and Heathcliff. As the two grow up, despite Cathy's deep emotional bond to Heathcliff, she eventually chooses to marry the socially respectable Edgar Linton. This decision creates a painful divide between them, and Heathcliff's eventual return, changed and embittered, complicates the lives of everyone around him. This is a dark, atmospheric and emotionally intense film, but was it just too much? Sophie, what did you think of it?
Well, my feelings and thoughts about this film are quite mixed and I guess conflicting because, this is my favourite book. I read this book like maybe almost 3 years ago now, and it has been my favourite book since I've read it. So I try not to get my feelings about the book mixed in with how I view the film. So I really tried to separate them because if you're seeing it as an adaptation, like from the perspective of an adaptation of the book, it is so wrong and awful. I can't even describe how wrong that is, but I don't want to focus on how it relates to the book or its similarities or differences because I just want to view it as a film. And as a film, I still didn't like it very much.
You thought it was awful, did you?
There are aspects about the film that I really liked. Like, I really liked the visuals of the film.
Very strong.
Yeah, I always focus on colour in film, and I think that Wuthering Heights by Emerald Fennell uses colour so perfectly and so well. It was really just visually great to watch, and I've seen a bit of conflicting opinions about this particular part of the film, but the skin room is something I actually did quite like, and I really did like the use of it. Even though, not the Victorian skin room, I think the way the film used it was really great, and I was a fan of that.
I had a completely different experience. I went into this film secretly wanting it to be awful. I wanted to hate this film. And the complete opposite happened to me. Now, I didn't have the problem of having read the book. As you know, I tried reading the book years ago and I got halfway through and thought, this is awful and turgid. And I put the book down. I've read a lot of the classics, but I thought Wuthering Heights as a book is pretty overrated. I always thought the song was better than the book. Anyway, the film has trumped everything for me because I was astonished at how emotionally and viscerally I was drawn into this film. I thought the director did such an amazing job of drawing me in. Mm-hmm. I love the colour, I love the sets. It's very, very stagey. I was getting Gone with the Wind vibes, Wizard of Oz. Yeah. There was a bit of almost Disneyfication in there. When she was dressed in red, she looked like Little Red Riding Hood at one point. But Margot Robbie and what's his name?
Jacob Elordi.
Jacob Elordi. The passion was just incredible. Now, I understand that some people weren't taken in by this. A lot of people have seen it, thought it's preposterous, this film, and a bit silly. And I never felt that. I just felt the intensity all the way through, and I was really drawn in by it. I've noticed that the critics have given this fairly low scores, audiences somewhat higher. What did you think about the relationship, though, the on-screen relationship between the two characters?
Well, on Margot Robbie's part, I thought that she did a better job than Jacob Elordi did at showing that obsession and passion. I think that Margot Robbie, she did a better job. I don't know. I felt like when I was seeing Jacob Elordi, it wasn't as believable to me, but
Did he not make a good Heathcliff for you? Is that what it's about?
No, he didn't make a good Heathcliff. Like, he's a great actor, and I've seen him in many things, but I just couldn't visualize him as Heathcliff, and I don't think that's just because I read the book.
Do you not like his Yorkshire accent?
I felt like it just wasn't strong enough, I think, that accent.
You wanted him to be more E by gum.
maybe, but yeah, Margot Robbie, great job.
The passion was explosive. The film had me all the way through. The production design is impeccable, really visually stunning. I was just thinking, this is like gothic hyperrealism. There's some Hammer House of Horror in there as well. It was absolutely wonderful. So before we do the scores, is there anything else you'd like to get off your chest about Wuthering Heights?
Yes. My main problem with this film is everything about it felt like a poorly written fan fiction, right? And I know Emerald Fennell did say that this was an interpretation she had of it when she was 14, or like elements of that. And it was really obvious in the worst possible ways. And I felt like that aspect of it, also coupled with the amount of montages in the film, it was like I was watching someone make a fan edit on TikTok. All of these montages and these flashbacks to previous points in the film felt like it was like spoon-feeding you how you're supposed to feel and what you're supposed to interpret the character's feelings as. It shows you what she's thinking about. When it's not that difficult to infer it, it felt a little Netflixy at that point, you know what I mean? Where like, because Netflix does that, because it's like, most people aren't paying attention, they're on their phones. So it like tells you what you're supposed to do.
So it was shouted at you too
It was
much.
basically just pushed at you way too much. And that's just something I didn't enjoy about the film at all. I really didn't like it.
See, I never felt that at all. I love the humour in the film as well. There's some laugh out loud moments, and it really, that really drew me into the characters as well, especially Margot Robbie's character. I know there's been criticism as well about this, about Kathy and Heathcliff. It's all being whitewashed and stuff.
Oh, yeah.
And I don't know what to make of all this. I just think it's a film, and just get on with it. Just get on with life.
Well, I am going to have to disagree with you on that because I think it is such an important part about Heathcliff, like that he is not white. That is the main thing that sets him apart from everyone else. And that's why he's so isolated and neglected, and people have so much prejudice against him. Is a main part of that is because he's not white, and even though we aren't told specifically what his race is, because he's supposed to be somewhat of a mystery in that sense, it is such a huge part of his character, and to take that completely away, I just couldn't connect with Heathcliff at all. Like, not in the same way that I could understand his complexities in the book. Like, in the film, he was just doing stuff, and I was like it just didn't.
But wasn't there was an emphasis on his low social status.
Yeah.
So that was kind of made clear. I get the fact that he's dark skinned, isn't he, in the book? But doesn't this come back to how faithful to the book? And also, I suppose it's a political environment in 2026. Should we not be being a little bit more faithful, especially when it's in matters of race? Perhaps. It was harking back to sort of more classical Hollywood. Like I said, I got flashes of Gone with the Wind and some Wizard of Oz. I kind of felt that was the aim of the director. But take on board what you've said. Right, let's have a go. Wuthering Heights. What are we going to score this? Probably going to have a little difference of opinion, no doubt.
Yeah.
So let's go for it. Wuthering Heights. These are our scores. Here we go. 3, 2, 1. Right, I gave it 9.2. Sophie, what did you get?
4.5.
4.5? That is outrageous.
I could not, everything was so wrong in that film. Even when you have a scene that was just that was disturbing and that was supposed to disturb you, I felt that it was shown as a shock factor rather than like as a part of the plot, if that makes sense. It was kind of just to go like, wow, this is so disturbing. Are you not disgusted by this? And I was like, not really. Like, it was whatever.
It's a great film. You should definitely go and see it in the cinema.
You'll
love it.
I would say you should go see it so you can make your own opinion about the film. Whether you've read the book or not, go and see it and just see how you feel.
See how you feel. Okay. Thank you very much for tuning into our review, and goodbye, everyone.
Bye.